live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at Rupavahini. We are ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I'm Charita Vinupurarachi.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Sharifa Tahir. Let's take a look at the headlines.
Housing dream of 2,000 Malayagam people comes true. President's assurance to provide 1,750 rupees estate worker daily wage. The Prime Minister is in China to attend the Women's Global Leaders Conference. WHO Director General arrives in Sri Lanka to attend the Southeast Asia Regional Health Conference to be commenced in Colombo tomorrow. Dr. Sarath Gunapala speaks on NASA's Mars exploration. Steps to reduce federal workforce in the US.
We now move on to those and other stories in detail, taking a look at local news first. The Malayagam community, who was suffering for a long time, being unable to fulfill even their basic needs in the estate line rooms, today has been a special day in their lives.
The reason is that their basic need of a house to live has been fulfilled today. 2,000 houses constructed for the Malayagam community were handed over to those families by fulfilling a promise stated in the policy statement of the government under the theme, A Thriving Nation and a Beautiful Life. The entitlement certificates of the houses were handed over by President Anurukumar Dissanayake at the Bandaravilla public grounds. Nearly 1 million of the Malayagam community living in Sri Lanka are located around tea estates in the hills. The entitlement deeds were handed over today to 2,000 persons belonging to Ambagasduwa division at Valimada Estate, Ponagala Estate and Haputale Estate by changing their living standards after 200 years. This program has been implemented with the objective of providing 10,000 houses to confirm their rights for a house as per the Hatton policy statement of the government under the theme, A Thriving Nation and a Beautiful Life. This has been implemented under the Stage 4 of the Indian Housing Scheme with the objective of providing safe and comfortable houses for the community jointly by the Indian High Commission and the Ministry of Plantation and Community Infrastructure Facilities. The Government of India spent a sum of 2.8 million rupees for a single housing unit, and the Government of Sri Lanka has spent an amount of 400,000 rupees for the infrastructure facilities for each house. Accordingly, the overall value of a 550 square feet house has been 3.2 million rupees.
அவரை தொடர்ந்து ரோபரி தோட்டத்தை சேர்ந்த திருவாளர் ஸ்பர்லன் தோட்டத்தை சேர்ந்த திருவாளர் பி விஜயகுமார் அவர்கள், அவரை தொடர்ந்து
A set of books compliant related to the housing project was also handed over to President Anurukumar Dissanayake by the Minister of Plantation and Community Infrastructure Facilities, Samantha Vidyaratna. Minister of Plantation and Community Infrastructure, Mr. Samantha Vidyaratna, stated that Malayagam community has been a great strength to the national economy. They have earned valuable foreign exchange for our country, yet the issues faced by them have not been adequately addressed. According to this year, 2025 marks the beginning of the largest housing development program in the history to be launched within a single year. Today, the government is commencing the program to provide 2,056 houses to the beneficiaries. Indian High Commissioner in Sri Lanka, Santosh Jha, also addressed the function.
Of history, friendship and the unbreakable bonds that unite the people of India and Sri Lanka. We are siblings. We are civilizational twins. We are seeking a future brighter than our past, one where we will live with peace, dignity and great opportunities. The Indian origin Tamil community in Sri Lanka is a living bridge between our two nations. India's relationship with the community is deeply rooted in shared cultural, linguistic and people-to-people ties. Over time, this relationship has only grown stronger. Today, we are gathered to advance the housing program for the Indian origin Tamil community with the support of Government of India. Altogether, support for 14,000 houses have been announced. 4,000 houses under phase 3 have been completed. Only a very few are left. Friendship and the unbreakable bonds that unite the people of India and Sri Lanka. We are siblings. We are civilizational twins. We are seeking a future brighter than our past with the community is deeply rooted in shared cultural, linguistic, and people-to-people ties. Over time, this relationship has only grown stronger.
Addressing the function, President Anurukumara Dissanayake stated that it is the responsibility of the government to ensure the social rights of the Malayagam people who are striving hard to strengthen the national economy. The President stressed that the demand of 1,750 houses of daily wage, which has been a long-standing demand of the state people, will also be fulfilled with this year by the government. President Anurukumara Dissanayake observed that this housing project can be regarded as a symbol of long-standing historical friendship between Sri Lanka and India and of the goodwill that the Indian government and its people continue to show towards Sri Lanka and its citizens. The Malayagam community represents a unique section of the population and plays a vital role in the national economy. For nearly 202 years, they have labored hands in hand with the soil, making a remarkable contribution towards strengthening the nation's economy. The government has a profound responsibility to ensure their basic needs and meant to provide them with a dignified and comfortable life. In this regard, the government has focused its attention on several key areas. Among the people living as a community that does not own even an inch of land, it is the duty of the government to ensure that they gain ownership of land and a home, and is presently engaged in a program dedicated to fulfill that responsibility. Likewise, these people must have given a fair wage that allows them to sustain their lives. For a long time, they have been demanding a daily wage of 1,750 rupees, and the government determined to ensure that they receive the entitlement within this year by whatever means necessary. Malnutrition and health insecurity are most prevalent among the plantation community. Therefore, special attention has been paid to their health issues. Measures are being taken to bring state hospitals under government administration, to deploy the required doctors and medical staff, and to ensure the supply of essential medicines, thus ensuring the government is fulfilling its duty to safeguard their health. Education is one of the key instruments for breaking the cycle of poverty that the community faces. There is a strong link between education and poverty, hence education plays a crucial role in empowering people to overcome hardship. The government has examined the deficiencies and exist in state schools and will guarantee every child the right to study in her own language, a home to live in, a source of income, good health, education for one's children and peace of mind are all fundamental rights of every citizen, and their right to work will be upheld. The Malayagam community continues to experience a lack of due respect and recognition both culturally and socially. Therefore, the government is working with strong commitment to build a society that values and respects the cultural rights, identity and heritage of all communities. However, the first time in history during the last general election, they rejected the all political establishments and placed their trust in a new journey, working tirelessly to bring the government to power with renewed hopes and expectations. The government firmly believes that it can be held as the country forward successfully for the situation that it was once, and the country can improve the living standard of its people. After the function, President Anurukumara Dissanayake had a friendly chat with the Malayagam people who received houses. Ministers, parliamentarians, government officials at a large gathering attended the function.
In the meantime, Valigapala Dhamavansha Nahim village in Ratnapura, built with the aid of the Indian government, was vested with the people yesterday. The project is comprised of 24 houses.
The new village was declared open by the Indian High Commissioner in Sri Lanka, Santosh Jha, and Minister Anura Karunatilaka. The Indian government has provided financial aid amounting to 600,000 rupees for the construction of a single house. The government has provided free of charge 15 perch land for each house. The Housing Development Authority has also extended financial aid under a relief credit basis. Measures have also been taken to develop infrastructure facilities in the village. In addition, Indian aid was extended for the construction of 25 houses in Dehanakanda in Ratnapura. The cost of construction of each house is 2.8 million rupees. The government has provided 10 perch land plot for each house. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuri arrived in Beijing, China today. She is engaged in a visit to attend the Global Leaders Meeting on Women 2025. On her arrival, she was welcomed by Kau Shubin, Minister of National Radio and Television Administration. During the first day's program, the Prime Minister visited the Forbidden City and the Great Wall of China. The Forbidden City, which is also known as the Palace Museum, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, showcases imperial architecture and nationally curated collections. The Great Wall, also a UNESCO site, stands as a symbol of China's historical ingenuity and ongoing conservation efforts. During the tour, the Prime Minister will attend the Global Leaders Meeting on Women 2025 and hold high-level bilateral meetings including the President Xi Jinping and the Premier of the State Council of the People's Republic of China, Li Qiang.
The 78th Southeast Asian Region International Health Summit will commence in Colombo tomorrow. The main invitee of the function, Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, arrived in the island today in the morning from Katunaika International Airport.
The Director General of WHO arrived at the Katunaika Airport by a Qatar Airways flight from Doha and was welcomed by the Secretary to the Ministry of Health and Mass Media, Dr. Anil Jayasinghe. The health ministers and officials of Southeast Asian countries will participate in the summit representing the region. The summit will commence tomorrow, will end on the 15th of this month. On your more local stories, the police officer connected to the incident of assaulting an attorney at law at Mount Lavinia court premises has been taken into custody. The incident was reported on the 10th of this month. A complaint has been filed to effect that the concerned attorney at law was assaulted by a police officer during an incident where the attorney at law was driving his vehicle out of the court premises. Accordingly, Mount Lavinia police took the police officer into custody and has been ordered to be remanded until tomorrow after being produced before the court. Police say that an investigation has been initiated by NAV regarding abusing the concerned police officer by the senior attorney at law who came along with the other attorney at law and threatening the police officer during the incident. The police media division in a communique issued stated that a CD containing footage of the incident has been handed over to the concerned police station. Statements from several persons present at the court premises during the incident have also been recorded. Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Nalinda Jathisu expressed these views regarding this incident after a function held in Colombo today. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jathisu pointed out that several video footages have been released to the social media regarding an incident occurred at the court premises. It is hoped that the justice has been fulfilled through legal action after recording facts from the police. Also, there is no political interference at all involved in this incident and the people are well aware of the politics of the opposition. He stressed that there will be no interference from the government and the results of the legal course of action is awaited. Dr. Sarath Gunapala says that a frontline futuristic operation of the NASA Institute is to be bring samples of rocks obtained from the planet Mars to the Earth.
Scientist Sarath Gunapala is employed at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory of the NASA Institute, which is the American space station, and he is a Sri Lankan national who had earned credible reputation as a specialist in the space science sector. The national television was engaged in a special interview with the esteemed scientist Dr. Sarath Gunapala when he visited Sri Lanka. The Mars expedition, which was initiated by the NASA Institute in the year 2020, is considered as a most successful exploration conducted so far. A rocket sent into the space on the 30th of July 2020 was able to land the Perseverance rover on the Mars on the 5th of March 2021. This device has been engaged in collecting rock samples on the planet and conducting investigations on them for more than 4 years. We at the SLRC has inquired from Dr. Sarath Gunapala on the next stage of the program.
Two decades we have sent so many rovers, landers and orbiters. Perseverance rover we sent to Mars and successfully landed, collected about 40 samples from Mars that we expect those contain life signatures. So this was done by a Perseverance rover sent there in 2021. So our next mission, Mars sample return, we are planning to send a vehicle including a little rover to collect those 40 samples and bring back to Earth. The reason is when we bring back those samples to Earth, we can do many experiments to find whether they have some information of fossil-like things or DNA or broken fragment of a DNA or something to find out whether Mars had life in the past. The reason is Mars is somewhat conducive to life, especially in the past. From our previous experiment, we have found Mars had running water, liquid water, and that was about 200 million years ago. Right now there's no liquid water, they all evaporated. It can happen on Earth too, that's why the scientists have studied that. But it will happen, it will take long time to happen on Earth. These are slow processes. Simple form of life formed as soon as Earth got water, about billion years after the formation of the solar system. If Mars had water, we expect there's some form of life formed on Mars too. Otherwise it's very odd. So we want to find out whether Mars had life, then we can at least provide some answer to the question that people want to know, are we alone in this universe? Because it's very odd if we are the only life in the whole universe. It's possible our solar system we are the only life, but certainly in our galaxy life exists in other places, but those are far away, in many light years away. That's why it's difficult to find. Those things we cannot send satellites because we don't have enough speed and resources. Those we can explore only from observation, optical observation from our telescopes.
According to Minister Dr. Nalinda Jadis, it is expected to minimize the effect on the hospital system by reducing accidents through raising awareness among the public in this regard.
The minister made these comments joining a march to enlighten the public under the theme, "Let us prevent bloodshed in an accident." The march, which started from Colombo National Hospital premises, reached Independence Square, passing Viharamahadevi Park. The main objective of this march is to enlighten the public, obtaining their participation and the appreciation of the staff which treat patients regarding accidents. March was organized by the National Trauma Secretariat. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jadis said that most of the hospitalizations are due to accidents in the country. The health service and the economic will gain huge benefits by preventing accidents. The objective is to reduce the number of accidents and minimize the damage to the hospital system of the country.
Minister Saroja Paulraj emphasizes the importance of creating a safe, respectful and dignified environment for women's political engagement and proposed several practical steps. She made these remarks while addressing the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians Conference for a debate free from hate held recently.
The 9th Commonwealth Women's Parliamentarians Conference was held as a part of the 68th Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference in Barbados. Minister Saroja Savitri Paulraj participated as a panelist in the workshop titled "Debate Not Hate, Not Accepting Abuse as an Outcome of Free Speech." The session explored the balance between freedom of speech and responsible communication, highlighting the need to protect women in politics from harassment, hate speech and online abuse. Discussions emphasized that ending the misuse of freedom of speech for violence, humiliation, threats and intimidation, and ensuring that digital platforms become safe and inclusive space for women. In her address, Minister Paulraj highlighted the need for a common, internationally recognized code of conduct for parliamentarians and staff to combat gender-based violence, sexism and online abuse. She also stressed the importance of developing a repository of being practical for parliamentarians to implement gender-sensitive security measures, confidential and independent complaint and investigation systems, and mandatory gender sensitization and anti-harassment training for all parliament members and staff. The Deputy Minister of Mass Media, Dr. Kaushalya Rupavahini, says that the government has a strong group capable of successfully confronting the challenges before the country. She made this observation at a function held in Kaduvela today. The Public Coordination Office of Kaduvela Electorate of the National People's Front was inaugurated at Muttetukuda Talahena today by Deputy Minister Dr. Kaushalya Rupavahini and Parliamentarian Asita Niroshanan.
Deputy Minister of Mass Media Dr. Kaushalya Rupavahini says that certain changes have been implemented with the objective of carrying out budget proposals fruitfully and efficiently. She added that a special responsibility is upon her as a result, and the government will face any challenge successfully. The strength built as a group will not be allowed to be tampered or reversed at any cost.
Parliamentarian Asita Niroshanan observed that the economy has speedily stabilized beyond expectation, and a report has been issued stating that the country has come out of bankruptcy. The sixth tranche of the IMF has also been released. An uncorrupted administration has been credited to the country, which has drawn a genuine political change. The entire international community has paid attention to Sri Lanka by now.
The police says 2 persons travelling in the back of a lorry were killed when their vehicle went off the road in Alahitiyawa, Narammala. The accident has occurred around 5:45 this morning. According to the police, the lorry heading towards Narammala veered off and hit a telephone post and toppled into a culvert. The victims who died upon admission to the Narammala hospital were aged 29 and 49 years and residents of Nedukani and Vaunia. The lorry driver was arrested and the Narammala police station is conducting further investigations.
And now let's move on to some more local news items in brief. Officials of the Tangol Division Crime Investigation Bureau have arrested a suspect with Tokalilo manufactured firearms and a stock of live ammunition. The police say the 37-year-old suspect is a resident of Kavantisapura in Tissa Maharama and a former soldier. The Navala police station has recovered a stock of 450 live ammunition in a sack of precipice of around 20 feet from a location near the Borogahakanda reservoir in Yagala, Matale. The detection was made according to the information received by a fisherman near the reservoir. An elephant calf was reported to have been killed by the entangling in electricity cables in a home garden in the Ruhunuketha village in Valikanda, Polonnaruwa. Owner of the home garden was arrested by the wildlife officials in Valikanda, and our correspondent says that the suspect was scheduled to be presented before the Polonnaruwa Magistrates Court. A tourism promotional program was conducted centering the tourism of Mathadumbara in parallel to the activities of the World Tourism Day yesterday. It was organized by the Association of Tour Guide Lectures of the Central Province. Chief invitee at the event, businessman Dr. Tisira Hevavasam, said that a significant progress has been witnessed at present in the local tourism industry, which is extending a significant contribution to the country's economic development. Malaysia Brickfields Buddhist Mahavihara organized an international Buddhist conference recently to commemorate the 130 years of founding of the society and the temple. The conference was held attending on both days with over 30 presenters and 250 participants and guests. They had presenters from 14 different countries explaining the research of the status of Buddhism, the challenges, threats and opportunities available in the 21st century. The conference chair was Venerable Professor Pahanunduwe Yasasithera and the conference secretary was Venerable Pusala Vinitha Thera. Trump administration announces plans to cut thousands of federal jobs. Stay tuned with international news after this break.
Moving on to news overseas now. Trump administration announces plans to cut thousands of federal jobs as the government shutdown enters its second week.
Officials claim that the reduction is a part of a broader effort to streamline government operations during the funding settlement. The White House Budget Director has confirmed the reductions in force have commenced, affecting more than 4,000 employees across 7 major government agencies. The Treasury Department and the Department of Health and Human Services are expected to experience the largest cuts, with over 1,000 positions to be eliminated in each. Labour unions have filed lawsuits describing the move as illegal and accusing the administration of using the shutdown as an excuse to dismiss workers who provide essential public services. The White House has defended the decisions, claiming the cuts are necessary to improve government efficiency. The current shutdown has now entered its 10th day, impacting nearly 750,000 federal employees across the United States. That marks the first time in modern US history the large-scale layoffs have been implemented during a government shutdown.
A grand military parade took place in Pyongyang recently to commemorate the 80th anniversary of North Korea's ruling Workers' Party. The event highlighted the country's ongoing emphasis on military strength and political symbolism.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un attended the ceremony at Kim Il-sung Square, where troops and military vehicles paraded through the capital. This displays featured the Hwasong-20 intercontinental ballistic missile, described by state media as the country's most powerful nuclear weapon. Foreign dignitaries including China's Premier Li Qiang, Vietnam's party chief Tu Lam and Russia's Deputy Security Council chairman Dmitry Medvedev were also present. State media reported that North Korea troops who took part in the Kursk operation marched with national and Russian flags. The Workers' Party of Korea was founded in 1945 and has led the country since its liberation from Japanese rule. And moving to China, a symphonic concert marking the 100th anniversary of founding the Palace Museum was held in Beijing recently. Titled Eternal Civilization, the 100th anniversary of the Palace Museum Symphonic Concert. The event was co-produced by the museum and the China National Symphony Orchestra. The orchestra and its chorus performed at the Beijing Concert Hall. The concert featured the world premiere of the Palace Museum Symphonic Picture and Symphony No. 3, dedicated to the 100th anniversary of the Palace Museum, both composed by Tang Jinping. In October 1925, the Palace Museum was established based on the Forbidden City, once the imperial palaces of the Ming and Qing dynasties, and opened up to the public for the first time, along with priceless imperial art collections. Today, the museum ranks among the most visited museums in the world.
We now move on to sports news. The match between India and Australia in the Women's World Cup One-Day International Cricket Tournament now being played at Visakhapatnam in India.
And meanwhile, the England won the match in Sri Lanka by 89 runs, played yesterday at the R. Premadasa International Cricket Stadium in Colombo. Sri Lanka women's team played in their 200th ODI match yesterday. Sri Lanka winning toss invited England to bat first. Accordingly, the England innings were opened by Amy Jones and Tammy Beaumont, and they posted 24 runs partnership for the opening wicket. Amy Jones was run out for 11 runs and Tammy Beaumont was out for 32 runs. Inoka Ranavira captured 2 wickets in the 35th over of England innings. England captain Nat Scriver Burns scored her 10th century of her 10th ODI career, which was also the 5th century of a World Cup. She scored 117 runs and England women's team scored 253 runs for 9 wickets in 50 overs. Inoka Ranavira captured 3 wickets for 33 runs, while Sugandhika Kumari claimed 2 wickets. Sri Lanka, chasing a target of 254 runs, were all out for 164 runs in 45.4 overs. Hasini Perera, top scorer with 35 runs, with Arshita Samaravikrama contributed with 33 runs. In bowling for England, Sophie Ecclestone captured 4 wickets, and Sri Lanka will play against New Zealand in their next match on the 14th of October. And with that, we conclude tonight news. Do just tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita, signing with Sharifa. Stay safe. Good night.
Have a pleasant night.